Stands, Arsenal are at the top of the Premier League table with 29 points. They're 6 points above second place Chelsea, the Blues, Manchester City a point behind Enzo Maresca's men. Aston Villa sitting in fourth, and Crystal Palace makes up the top five. The bottom half of the table, though, sees newly promoted Leeds United, Burnley and Wolves, who've, of course, just gotten a brand new manager this weekend in Rob Edwards. They are sitting right smack at the bottom with just 2 points after 12 games in action. But right here at the Emirates, I've got Paul Robinson as well as Francis Jeffers. David Seaman will be joining us in just a bit. But what a victory this is. What a statement this is in the North London derby. Arsenal, 11 wins in the last 12 in all competition. And it's the first time, if I'm not mistaken, in about 13 years, they have a 3-goal margin over Tottenham Hotspur in a North London derby. I mean, after Manchester City dropping points last night, it just seems like this is Arsenal season, isn't it? What a statement this is, Francis.
Yeah, it's a statement win. You know, these fans have been in this position before. These players have been in this position before. You've got to be careful. It's a long way to go, but listen, this place was rock and win. It was a massive, massive win for Arsenal today.
Hugely impressive. Really impressed with the way that Arsenal set up today. You know, there's two sides. We'll talk about how disappointing Tottenham were later, but actually the way Arsenal played, the fluidity that they played with. Tottenham came here to sit with a low block in the first half, and Arsenal picked them off at ease. The quality of Eze, the quality of Saka on the right-hand side, the interchange, the movement that they had, and the thing that I said before the game, the quality that Arsenal have got, the strength in depth that they've got now. You know, we made a lot before the game about the players that they had missing. That didn't affect them today. And you saw the players that came off the bench. Granted, Tottenham didn't put up much of a force to be reckoned with, and it was an easier game than Arsenal probably expected. But they made it that way with the quality that they had. They've got some quality, real quality in all areas now.
It was an almost perfect performance, wasn't it, Francis? Let's take away that bit of a free goal from Richarlison, but in every aspect, the way that they pressed, how aggressive they were, their intensity, even the way that defended, in yes, albeit very rare moments that Spurs threatened them, it was almost perfect today.
Yeah, it was a perfect performance from Arsenal. I don't think they had to do much to win the game. So we said at half-time, you know, Spurs never really took part in the game. But listen, you can't take nothing away from Arsenal. They're a top team. He nailed it there. They've got a top squad as well. It's not just the starters. It's the lads coming on that make an impact as well. So listen, I fancy them to go on and win it now, me.
Yeah, especially since Manchester City dropping points last night. It could very well be a mental game for Arsenal as well. Could very much be a psychological game from Arsenal. But they've scored A+, if anything.
Listen, we're still early in the season in terms of, you know, positional-wise, how many games we've played. We're going to play more games in the next 2 months of the season than we've played at the start of the season already. So there's still a long way to go. You know, we always talk about December and January, been a really busy period and a tough period. But at the moment, the signs for Arsenal are very, very encouraging. Speak about the strength and depth. We talk about them at times. If they don't play well, they get results. They've got a really big week coming up now, Arsenal. At the beginning of this week, you look at the fixture list. They're at home to Tottenham. They're at home to Bayern Munich on Wednesday. And then they've got Chelsea at the weekend. I mean, they made a real statement today. We're going 6 points clear at the top of the league. Imagine what they can do next weekend if they beat Chelsea after the Bayern Munich game here midweek. Big time in the season for Arsenal.
That's the thing, isn't it? With the injuries that Arsenal had so far and the busy week that they've had, there was some question perhaps maybe Mikel Arteta should be a tiny bit more pragmatic in their approach, just because it is a big week. You want to save some legs. You've got Bayern midweek, you've got Chelsea next weekend. But that is not the case. That is not the case at all here today. And I think Mikel Arteta is vindicated for the fact that he's asking his team to push on and get more.
Yeah, but we spoke about before the game. They've got the squad now. Like we said, Robbo said it before, the squad and the depth they've got in the squad now is something that they probably haven't had in Mikel Arteta's reign. You know, they've got top players coming off the bench. They've got top players, 2 and 3 top players in every position now. So listen, I'm sure they can cope with what's coming. It is a big week for them, but I'm sure they've got the players to cope with it. And I'm sure Mikel Arteta will freshen things up as well. As I say, the players that are coming off the bench now, you know, they could easily be starting. They're that good.
Do you think, psychologically, is it harder to be the chaser or is it harder to be chased? Because 6 points at the top of the table now as the leaders seems to be widening.
Listen, the stick that will always be used to beat Arsenal with is they've not got it over the line in recent years, and that's always been, you know, they've been in this position before, top of the league, points clear, and they've been hauled back in and they haven't managed to win that all-elusive title. All we can say is they've given themselves the best opportunity that they can get over the line, and I think other teams' failures, as in Manchester City yesterday, You saw Liverpool yesterday. Liverpool were really poor. I mean, their title defence thus far in the season has been awful. I mean, they only lost 4 games in the whole of last season. You know, I think they've lost 5 out of the last 6 or 6 of the last 7, I think it is. So they're in a really poor run of form. Manchester City's inconsistency, that brings Chelsea into the equation. But Arsenal at the moment...
Or is it a one-horse race at the moment? It seems to be shaping up to be.
You know, Chelsea are going to want it there. They'll have a lot to say about that, especially in the game next week. But I think Arsenal at the moment, all you can say is they've done everything that's been asked of them. And if you'd have offered Mikel Arteta this position in the Champions League table, this position in the Premier League table with the squad that he's got, they've taken that at the beginning of the season.
One-horse race, Francis, or do you think Chelsea's in the picture?
I think Robbo's nailed it there. Listen, Chelsea are in it. Do I think they'll do it? No, not this season. They're a young squad. I don't think they'll do it this season. But listen, they're thereabouts, aren't they? So you can't write them off. As he said, there's a long way to go. I've just got a little sneaky that it's
Liverpool's decline doesn't seem to be turning around at the moment. Manchester City is still ironing things out.
Liverpool's a really, really tough one to speak about. There's something going on at the club. Obviously, they've had some unbelievably tragic stuff go on throughout the summer, you know, which will probably be affecting or will be affecting them massively. They've got to try and pick themselves up.